Thank you for that song. Do you hear your shepherd's voice? Awesome directive for us, you know. I was, during this week, I was going over the 23rd Psalm a little bit. It's like, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. You know, so if we're listening to our shepherd, we're listening to God, I think we're in pretty good shape and we're in pretty good company. And this whole series that we've been on from Easter to now, it's been quite a journey. If any of us come every Sunday, I'm sure you're having some really unique experiences. I am. I know that I'm on my journey from Gethsemane to Calvary. Remember when we let go of Gethsemane, we got to get rid of this old stuff so we can lift and transform. So it's been an interesting journey for me, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it's for all of us. Okay. So today the topic of the talk is what's a Christian? And that's a pretty good question. Might be a loaded question, but I'll put a hashtag on that. What is a Christian but a walk with the Christ? How's that? So as we begin to walk with the Christ and follow the teachings of the Christ, we begin to come into alignment with our true self and with God also. Christ being the ideal man in God's eyes. Jesus the Christ being that human who embodied that Christ love on planet Earth, which we all got to experience and see and still feel the essence of that life, and to our best begin to follow and act and live in that consciousness. A walk with the Christ. I like this little saying that Spirit gave me one time. I choose to be a chosen one, to be, not just remember. And a lot of times we fall into that just remembering state of being, whereas we choose to remember, we can begin to act in our life. To walk with the Christ. To walk is a verb. It's action. To not wait upon the Christ or wait upon the Lord, but to walk following the shepherd's voice, following our inner guidance. So I think when we begin to say, what's a Christian, a walk with the Christ, we shift out of a noun or adjective into that verb state to call something into existence or to act upon the presence of the Christ within us all. When we begin to open to that consciousness, that's when we can truly move into understanding that we can choose the life that we came to be. And that's an interesting concept for a lot of people also, because a lot of people feel they don't have choice. A lot of people feel they don't have choice. But the teachings of the Christ is we are the creator, sons and daughter of God. So that implies choice. We do have choice. We can choose how we want to live. One thing about our choices, we won't get to our spirituality if we hang on to our mortality. Sound good? We're hanging on to this low level of consciousness, perfect in the moment, but we always have that capacity and the ability to raise and expand and to be that greater expression of God's love, to be that Christ. So what we do is we take our experiences and we relate with them on a human level. We humanize them. And then when we humanize our experiences, we just recreate them. So we have been in this loop of just recreating the human experience and wonder why we're not getting anywhere. So to begin to understand that, if we begin to see life differently, see ourselves differently, listen to our shepherd's voice, we can shift and expand our consciousness to live at a different level, to express and be the unique son, the unique daughter of God. We've been going over the life and teachings of the Masters of the Far East and Book 1. And I just wanted to share this one little part right here. This is on page 92 of my book. This is an old book. But the Baird Spalding and his team have been walking with these masters. And the masters were just demonstrating their Christed consciousness. They were transcending the laws of physical matter and all the good things that Jesus had done and all the masters have done and still do on the planet. And when they were talking to the masters, this is what the master said to them. He says, you see us as something special. We're not something special. We are just like you are. We're not something special. This is who man really is. This expression is our truth. We see you as this. You see? The masters saw Baird and his team with the capacity to do that. And all during these 3 years, they had demonstrations where they did things themselves to give them an experience of higher consciousness. And then they said, if we want to shift, we've got to begin to see one another beyond the physical, to see that spiritual aspect that's within us all. Because that's what will free us. That'll interrupt the sequence of this loop, so now we can spiral out of that and begin to live life differently. And it's really powerful to understand that. And just like I said, we're all trying as hard as we can. You know, we want to begin to shift and change and grow. And like I said earlier, these past 2 weeks for me have been a challenge because the law of identity, the universe seeks to show us who we are at any given moment. Well, that's right in your face if we have our eyes open. And so I've had a challenge with one of my brothers on the planet. And I first approached it from my mortal human consciousness. I approached it at a lower level to try to get higher results. Doesn't work. It doesn't work, you know. And so I did that. But what happens is we get in our ego. Does anybody ever get in their ego? Oh, okay, there's a few hands out there. So we get in our ego, and that's where we drop down, because what's our ego do? Makes us right. There it is. How's that? So my ego makes me right, you know. Their ego makes them right. So we are right. We are right. War. It's like, doesn't work. And so I've really been struggling with that, because that's not the truth of who I am. I'm really trying to move from that consciousness and live it. And I think that's what Bob was referring to when Embrace Your Karma. To begin to understand there's a higher way of seeing it. And there's a higher way of moving through it. And I remember when it first happened, because it's an unfolding scenario, and Cindy says, an angel told her, we allowed this to happen so that we could take some action. For me, taking action was to go back into my heart. I've been wrestling with my angel. My ego's been wrestling with my angel. So this happened, and who knows how many levels, layers, dimensions, karmic ties, whatever. But this was like an opportunity for me to go back home, and to begin to let go of the past. Because what is now but the eternal now I am. God is. And so it's been a wonderful experience that I'm still moving through. And I'll keep you posted. But I am so happy for the planet Earth and race consciousness that I am shifting and letting go of past patterns and things like that. And I'm sure we all run into situations like this with people, don't we? And that's what our job can be, is to just begin to let go. And what I wanted to share was, and this was in the Aquarian, chapter 139, and this is might help us in beginning to understand ourselves more and life more and what's it all about. So in chapter 139, in the previous chapter, Jesus had healed a blind man from birth. He did on the Sabbath. Shame on you. Okay, so the Pharisees and the priests, they start talking to the guy. Say, who did this? I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And then no one believed that he was blind from birth. They called his parents in, the whole rigmarole. He ends up just saying, I don't know who did it. It seems like you should know. You guys are connected with God because this had to be a God being that did this. Long story short, they kicked him out of the temple. When Jesus found out about it later that day, he found the man and he talked to him. We just talked to the man, kind of recalibrate just a little bit. And this is what Jesus said to the guy. Jesus says, do you believe in God and in the Son of God? The man replied, I do believe in God, but who is the Son of God of whom you speak? And Jesus said, the Son of God is he who speaks to you. The man inquired then, why did you say the Son of God? Is there but one? And Jesus said, all men are sons of God by birth. God is the father of the race, but all are not sons of God by faith. Sons of God by faith, that's another one of those verb words. He who attains the victory over self is son of God by faith. That takes some action to have victory over our lower self. And he who speaks to you has overcome, and he is called the Son of God because he is a pattern of the sons of men. When Jesus came, he brought that perfect idea of man and then manifested it through the physical form, through man. And that was his gift, see? To be the pattern. Follow me. And he who believes and does the will of God is son of God by faith. Can you hear your shepherd's voice? It's as simple as that. To begin to follow that simple guidance that we get every day. Does the will of God. The man in joy exclaimed, Lord, I believe in God and in the Son of God. I believe in God and the Son of God. God and I are one. How many times did Jesus say, it's not I, but the Father within who doeth the works? And I'm sure every one of you has said that sometime when you did something and somebody said, oh, that was great. And you go, well, it was God. It was God. We're getting it. To begin to understand that we're farther along this path than we think or we're told we are. And as we begin to give ourselves a chance to just begin to express freely our uniqueness, we will reveal to ourselves who we really are. And Jesus said, I came to open prison doors, and we all have our little prisons, to make the blind to see. A lot of times we have blind spots, but lo, the Pharisees are blind from birth. And the Pharisees are the lawgivers. And don't we all live by lots of laws in our life? And we're endeavoring to let go of the lower laws that would limit us and keep us from expressing who we are, and to rise and to live into higher laws. As we begin to meditate more and connect with God more and to live at a higher level, we begin to free ourselves and elevate from the third dimensional reality. It's like we understand dimension now. This third dimensional reality is creating with thoughts, and then going to that fourth dimension, higher experience, that higher level of awareness. And then fifth dimension is that pure state of being. And we go dimension, 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 but humans like to leapfrog a lot, but we need to just take the step that's in front of us right now and then enjoy that. So faith, what he says, he who believes in God and has faith in God. Once again, faith is a verb. We're going to use it. And so I want to share with this. This is Aramaic. And Rocco Errico, we have tons of his books. And he is one of the foremost scholars of Aramaic language on the planet. He's a very cool guy. Cindy, have known him. We've known him for 25, 30 years. And he's come here and give little workshops and stuff. But have you ever heard that saying, lost in translation? Jesus spoke Aramaic. Jesus spoke Aramaic. It was the dialect he spoke. They were in Galilee, northern. And so when things got translated, even to translate from Greek to from Aramaic to Greek, they lost a lot because of idioms and things like that. It's a different class. So here it is. Faith is substance, all right? So, what is faith? And I know you've all heard this. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And this is in Hebrews, and this is what Paul taught. Okay, and we all know about faith. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So that's what's in the King James Bible and what people are brought up with. So here's Aramaic. Okay. Now, faith is the assurance concerning things that are hoped for, as it was the substance of the things which are now in existence, and it is the appearance, the revelation, of things not seen. That kind of expands the definition of faith, doesn't it? And if you really listen to these words, now faith is the assurance concerning things which are hoped for. Say, the assurance they are. There's no hoping. They are real. There's that saying, God knows what you need before you even ask. This is like creation. That's the assurance. And it was the substance of the things that are now in existence. God is. Material is not God. It's the revelation that God is. See, God is ought, and matter is not. See, matter is created by man, and it will pass away. But the essence of God's always there. And it's the appearance, the revelation of things not seen, to begin to call those forth. Well, that puts a whole new spin on faith and the action that we can take in life. Because we're not to just operate on blind faith. I don't think Jesus stood in front of Lazarus' tomb and said, God, I hope this works. He knew. He knew. He knew. He was one with God. He knew Lazarus was one with God. There wasn't any separation. Lazarus, come forth. And he didn't do it for himself. He did it so people could see as a gift. So this new idea, this new definition of faith could help us with perseverance. And isn't perseverance a verb? We have to do this stuff. It's really neat to begin to understand all of the opportunities that we have in life if we take them. Life is a gift. A walk with the Christ. So, a walk with the Christ, what would be our goal in our walk with the Christ? Unconditional love. Because isn't Christ unconditional love? The love of God made manifest. God loves us. Our Father God loves us. Unconditional love cannot be experienced without the help of the source of unconditional love. Without the help of Christ. Without our shepherd's voice. You see? Listen. Ask and listen. You will receive. So that's what I was saying about we're not going to reach our spirituality if we hang on to our mortality, our humanness. So we begin to let go of the old laws, the old patterns that keep us in this cycle, that repeat. the cycle of insanity, to begin to shift and lift, allowing that divine idea to flood through us, to enlighten us. And with the help of unconditional love, with the help of the Christ, listening to our shepherd's voice, we will leave conditional love behind. Is anyone here ready to leave conditional love behind? Okay, I'm going to raise my hand. And everybody out there, everybody raise their hand in here. They want to. So, conditional love doesn't make us happy. Everyone could attest to that. It may make us happy for a few minutes or a short time, but in the long run, conditional love is making somebody do something we want them to do. So to begin to seek that higher love and allow that to begin to move through us, frees ourselves and frees the other. You know, many of us think that this is impossible. How can I do this? I've got to fix myself. I'm going to say everybody in here, we're past that one, okay? We don't have to fix ourselves, all right? Let's just get that one straight. We are enlightened. We might not remember it, but that's the seed of the Christ that's within us. That's what the Master sees us as. That's what Jesus, the Christ, sees us as. That's our identity. That's who we are. So as we endeavor to see beyond, we have to let go of old perceptions and even our old interpretations. Just like that word, what's a Christian? It's a perception. It's interpretation. How many different sects of Christianity are there on the planet? A lot. And then how many Christ awakening beings on the planet? More. You see, Christ transcends religion. Christ is love. There's no walls. So, our first step is to be open to and recognize the love that is the core of our being. The love that is the core of our being. We are seeds of God love. And within that seed is our potential to express the fullness of God. Nature is so wonderful because we can look at it and it demonstrates creation and life right before us. It's like you take an apple seed and plant it. Next thing you've got an apple tree, and then there's an apple, you cut it in half, and there's the seeds. There's seeds. A lot of times I use the analogy of an acorn in an oak tree. When you walked up the back, I don't know if you saw that glass little vase with a little creature growing out of it. That's a hickory tree. And you can see the hickory nut split and the little root coming down. And I pulled it out of the ground the other day and I gave it to this person and they forgot to take it home. But I know they'll get it. How's that? But it's just beautiful. So if we are a seed of God, what's our potential? You see? We got to give ourselves that new idea, that new vision, that we are this seed of God with that potential. Like when we hear that word, heir to the kingdom. We're creating that kingdom right now on planet Earth. So as we begin to be more open to that, to recognize it, and then support it in our life. And sometimes we're going to have to wrestle with our angels. And our ego's doing the wrestling. Sometimes we're not always right. And so when we begin to listen to Spirit, we can let go and move into a state of maybe humility, which isn't the end of the world. Because through that process, we ascend. These are opportunities. This is karma. Embrace it with love. Embrace it with love. Allow our unique expression to be ourselves. enjoy life from this perspective, it's a different world. In every situation or experience is the opportunity, the choice, to bring in and expand love. Okay, what's really happening here? I don't really understand it. So let me bring in some love into this. Let's expand this a little bit. Let's bring in some Christ, say light, maybe be able to hear some guidance. So expand love into the situation. How about some compassion? Let's bring in some compassion, which I was lacking in my previous experience I shared with you. But to bring in compassion and expand that, and even some beauty. This is a beautiful planet. These experiences are beautiful when we have our spiritual eyes opened. This is how we can truly experience life. Is that the way that most of us have been taught to live? But we can let go of some of those old teachings, those old laws. And this takes being present. So this takes being present. See, not just remember doesn't need being present. We choose to be. We're going to walk as a Christ, okay? So this takes our being present in the moment. So when we're going through an experience or a situation or something like that, listen to your thoughts. Listen to what you're really thinking, okay? And I'll put you right where you're at, okay? Listen to your thoughts. Feel your emotions. You know, emotions are colored with memory, which is usually not now. And be aware of your body. How's your body feel? I know my body doesn't feel good when I wrestle my angel. My angel wins. When we be present like this, honest with ourselves, this reveals where we're at in life. How about the law of identity? The law of identity is a pretty cool law to really keep us moving. In Psalms 46, verse 10, this is King James Version. Be still and know I am God. I love that. Sometimes I sing the song for me here. Be still and know that I am God. So I love that. Here's Aramaic. Okay? From the Aramaic Peshitta, which the Bible was translated from. Turn to me, and know I am God. Action, step, verb. Turn to me, and know I'm God. I think the main thing Spirit wanted to share today was to allow ourselves to move into that verb state of living. To take that action in our life, guided with love. Say, guided with love. Turn to me and know I'm God. Turn to God and know true self. When turning to God becomes paramount in our life will move into that state of love and joy and peace. This is our original nature. This is the seed that is within our heart. This is the light that lighteth every man, every woman who cometh into the world. So let's just go within for a second. As you sit in your chairs, just close your eyes and breathe once again. And we're going to breathe with intention. Breathe with the intention to be filled with God's love. I ask that your love flow through me, Father. I ask that your love flow through everyone in this space that we're reaching this day. And just breathe, and I want you to just feel, as you breathe in God's love, ask to feel God's love. Feel your heart begin to grow and expand a little. There might be a gentle quickening. But I want you to just let go. Just surrender to the transforming love of God. And as you breathe, just begin to feel these waves of love sweeping through your body. And as waves of God love sweep through your body consciousness, ask that God remove the limits of your ability to express your Christed nature. Father, I ask that thoughts, beliefs, and patterns that limit my ability to express my Christed nature, which is my truth, which is my higher self. I ask these energies be cleared. I radiate love out through my sphere of consciousness, and I call forth peace. Let there be peace. Let there be harmony. Be harmony. And let there be love. Be love. So just breathe and feel your unique vibration now. This is who you are. This is who I am. Turn to God and know I am. Just breathe and feel. In your heart, say, thank you, God. And gently wiggle your toes and fingers and gently open your eyes. As we go forth this week, we can choose to accept the blessing of each day. Here's a phrase that I've been using this week a lot to kind of lift me. I choose to have a heaven on earth experience today with everyone I have contact with. Ask and you shall receive. Yea, God.